Hello and welcome, dear friends. Hope you all are good, fine, and sane. Previous class we were talking about Bergman's rule, right? Today we are going to discuss about the second rule of thermal adaptation in case of endothermic animals, that is Allen's rule. Okay, the second rule is Allen's rule. Before we are going to discuss about Allen's rule, just recap Bergman's rule. I told you before that Bergman's rules means it applicable in case of mammals, right? Here in this case of Bergman's rule, the larger organisms or larger animals lives in polar region, whereas the smaller body size organism or organisms present in equator or warmer condition, right? But here in this case of Allen's rule, it is slightly different from Bergman's rule. In case of Allen's rule, first of all we have to know the discovery. Now the Allen's rule discovered by Joe Allen in 1877. Okay, Joe Allen proposed this rule in 1877. Okay, according to Allen, the Allen's rule means animals in cold climates usually have a minimum of exposed surface area. It defines as the colder climate. In case of polar region or colder climatic condition, the organisms, the endothermic animals, they tend to have shorter limbs, or we can call it as appendages. Okay, means the in case of colder region or colder climatic condition or polar region, the endothermic animals having shorter limbs or appendages, right? Shorter limbs or appendages, limbs like ears, right? Ears, that may be tail, right? So according to Allen's rule, in case of colder climatic condition or polar region, the endothermic animals present in colder or polar region having shorter limbs or shorter appendages, like shorter ears, like shorter tail. Okay, here in this case of here two rabbits are there, one rabbit having larger ear, another one is smaller ear. Then here the smaller ear, the rabbit having smaller ear should be lives in colder climatic condition or colder climate. So it is Arctic hare. Okay, the rabbit, so it is called as Arctic hare because I told you before that Arctic zone and Antarctic zone. Okay, North Pole also called as Arctic zone, South Pole also called as Antarctic zone. So due to shorter appendages or shorter limbs, it should be lives in polar region. I will explain you why this they are having shorter limbs or shorter appendages. I will explain in next slide. Okay, whereas in contrast to polar region, in case of warmer region or equator, the endothermic animals having larger limbs, right? That is larger limbs. Hot or dry climate there. Due to hot and dry climate, the rabbit, suppose we are taking here as an example rabbit. So rabbit, the ear of that rabbit or the appendages of the rabbit is larger ear and larger tail here. Okay, in case of warmer condition or in case of equator, due to hot or dry climatic condition, their appendages should be larger, their ears should be larger, their tail should be larger, their limbs should be larger. Okay, so that may be forelimb or hind limb, right? Here what is written here, that animals in cold climates usually have minimum of exposed surface area. Example, short legs, short tails, short ears. Okay, this is the example of rabbit. One, the rabbit present in polar region is called as Arctic hare, and the rabbit present in warmer condition or equator is known as black-tailed jackrabbit. Okay, another example of fox is Arctic fox and grey fox. Arctic fox, they lives in polar region. They have smaller or shorter tail. They have shorter ear, right, in case of Arctic fox. Whereas in case of grey fox, they lives in warmer condition. They lives in hot equator. That's why their tail is larger and their ear also larger and their limbs also larger. Okay, then we have to think about that, why we require shorter limbs or appendages in case of polar region and larger limbs or appendages in case of warmer condition, right? The reason is, in case of cold climate, suppose you are taking colder climatic condition or polar region, in cold climate, greater the exposed surface area, the greater the loss of energy in the form of heat, right? Here, okay, in case of polar region, here, okay, in case of cold climatic condition, the exposed surface area like ear, limbs and tail, if the surface area is larger, then there is a chances of loss of heat, loss of energy, right? Due to avoid that, we have to minimize, right? We have to minimize that surface area. We have to minimize the appendages. We have to minimize or shorter. We have to shorter that limbs, ears and tails, due to get rid from the loss of energy, loss of heat, right? Because in case of cold climatic condition, the endothermic animals needs to conserve more amount of energy, right? That's the reason. In case of warmer condition, the endothermic animals having more, having larger or longer tail or longer limbs, larger limbs, right, and larger ears and tails, because in that case they need to lose energy, they need to lose heat. because they are present in warmer condition. If they lose energy in the form of heat, then they will feel cool, right? Because due to compensate from warmer condition to normal condition, they have supposed to release heat, right? That's why they should have larger surface area and larger tail, larger ear, larger limbs. So they have larger appendages, right? Here, okay, here there are 4 rabbits. This rabbit is longer ear, longer tail and longer limbs, right? As compared to this is slightly shorter ear, shorter tail and shorter limb. As compared to that, this is more shorter ear, more shorter tail and more shorter limbs. Whereas the terminal one having shortest ear, shortest tail and shortest limb, right? I told you before that Allen's rule defines that the colder climatic condition or polar region having shorter appendages, right? Whereas the warmer condition, in case of warmer condition, the endothermic animals having larger appendages, larger ear, larger tail and larger limbs. So the rabbit present in warmer condition is L. alani, and the rabbit present in colder climatic condition, example is Lepus arcticus. Okay, and this one is Lepus americanus and this one is Lepus californicus. Okay, this is the diagram what I told you before. This is the Lepus americanus, Lepus californicus, Lepus alani and Lepus arcticus. This is present in this is present in polar region. This is present in warmer condition, right? Warmer condition. This is all about Allen's rule. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.